is what you want for your neighbors, the mortgage and their property tax.
All the way in the back, yes, there was a Santa Claus beard. Was that you I saw last December?
This guy's gotta stop undermining
What do we
people,
have in
belittling
the
them.
bank now, in our account? In what account?
In reserve, what do we have?
Lynn, can you roughly answer that off the top of your head?
It was like,
1 and then.
well, at the end of the 24 fiscal year audit, RHR Smith stated we had $1,500,000. So $1,050,000.
So a million in round
a
terms.
million rough, but again, we're still waiting on the completion of the 25.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay, lady here, yes, your turn.
Hello. And again, the one from away. I agree with the vote that we had last time, but I do not agree with taking down any raises this year. That is unfair to the employees of this town. However, I want everybody to notice that the town, and many of us, are unhappy with the expenditures in this town, and they should work around it properly, rather than come to town meeting and we all cry and say, no, we are voting against this. These people deserve their raises, no question about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentleman up front, and then I'll get the third person.
Tom Dugas is my name.
Please speak right up.
Don't worry, I will.
Too bad.
My concern is, I agree with Rick. I agree with the man with the cash. That's not the problem. The problem is, I've lived in 4 towns that have the same government we have here. That's not the problem. The problem is, we don't have a tax base to support it. We need to close the Denmark Brownfield School. How can you justify 78 kids in a building? You can't even adjust the oil it takes to heat it. It's not that these people are overpaid or underpaid. It's the fact that the town doesn't have the tax base to keep this up. In 10 years, you think the taxes are high now, wait 10 years. At the current rate of the school budget and the town budget, they're going to double. That's the fact. Now, if you want to correct that, all of us in this room have a stake in it. We need to all get involved and figure out how you can fix a town as poor as this to support the budget it has. A third of the properties in this town do not have a tax value higher than lots they sit on. Fact. Second fact, half the taxes in this town, 75% of the taxes in this town are paid by half the taxpayers. You can't keep jacking the taxes up on those of us and expect this to work. We don't have the tax base to support us. The town is in trouble. Now, I agree with Rick and the guy with the cash. Yes, but how do we fund it? If we could close the Brownfield Denmark School, why wouldn't we take the offices of Denmark and Brownfield and move them into that? Combine the towns over a period of time. It ain't going to happen overnight, I know that. To reduce the cost, as long as Brownfield doesn't have a building code, and you're going to continue to allow them to bring in 50-year-old trailers, as they did on Misty Lane last year, you're not going to improve the tax base in this town to move it forward. What do you do to raise the money? That's the question.
Okay, April, I saw your hand up. I'll get back to you in a minute. But one of the things I do to increase participation is give priority on any given article to someone who has not yet spoken on that. We'll get back to you. In the gray t-shirt, yes, you had your hand up before.
Why were raises being forced and not asked? That's
What, say again?
raises are being forced and not asked.
Why are raises being forced?
forced,
and
not
not
asked.
asked?
Yeah, we're normally always asked for a certain, we want to raise a certain percent for raises. And the way that the article is, it's already been put in exact amount.
The way they worded it.
The selectmen
Yeah,
briefly,
It's been a few years since you've seen an article to ask for that. It's been in put into the payroll article, I want to say, Sylvia, I think you were the first one to start that with the chart. That was, what, 4 years ago?
speak right up, please.
So it's been at least 4 years that it's not been a singular article asking for that. And just to point it out, this article is asking. It's whether you approve it or not.
April,
I was just wondering if we could carry on with the article?
we have to deal with the amendment first.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is, would you like to move to voting on the
Yeah.
amendment?
Second.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yeah,
Okay, so you vote to move the article, move the amendment.
yeah.
Okay, what we're doing now is we're gonna have a show of hands. I'm in process, so I can't take a new motion right now. We're gonna have a show of hands to decide to
Emery.
stop discussion on the amendment and vote on the amendment itself up or down. Once we do that, we can get back to the main article. So, all those in favor of...
I motion for a written ballot.
What are we voting
I second that.
What are we
I had already started saying all those in favor. So unfortunately,
I already had my hand prior to you even mentioning it.
That's true. The second.
okay, I guess we've got to do it the hard way, if that's how people want to do it.
I don't like his attitude. This guy's got a very bad attitude,
So we're gonna
and it's
vote
not
on,
funny at all.
now we're gonna have to vote on whether we want a written ballot on the amendment. All those in favor of having a written ballot on, actually, did you vote a written
Yeah.
ballot? Is your motion a written ballot on the move the question thing, or do you want it?
On this vote coming up, it was on the amendment.
No, you're not listening to me. Do you
No,
want,
you're not listening.
right now, we're talking about moving the question. That is stopping discussion and
playing
going to a
games with
vote on the amendment. You don't want a written ballot on that.
Yes, I do.
Just like last time. It's like at the town meeting.
This is unnecessary complication, but the wonderful
No,
thing
it's
about
not.
town meeting
He's
is
lying.
it's not always perfect.
That's his opinion.
All those in favor, okay, the question is, will we do this moving the question on a written ballot? All those in favor of the vote to move the question with a written ballot, raise your hand. Those opposed? Okay, very good. Now we can move ahead.
We'll see him in court.
Now we're gonna vote on moving the question, which
For lying to
which means
Brownfield.
that we will stop debate on the amendment.
Watch how this
And then
goes.
we can vote on the amendment. We're not voting on the amendment now, we're voting on stopping debate. All those in
Playing
favor of
games and talk all
stopping
night.
debate, stopping debate and moving the question and get right to it. Those opposed? It appears that we can now vote on the amendment unless there is any more discussion. I don't want to ramrod you. Briefly,
I would like to motion for a written ballot, again.
that's out of order. It's all, you can't just keep playing ping pong with this.
No, I want,
You're out of order, be quiet. Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry
We're
they're
voting now
raping
on
and
the
pillaging our
amendment. The
community.
amendment is to
It's a
change
political
the
tactic
amount
through
in
Drummond and
Article
Woodson.
3 to 8, and this is the amendment.
No.
We're not voting on the article
No.
itself, the money. We're voting to put the amendment up. All those in favor of amending the amount in Article 3 to $856,146, please raise your hand.
Go sit down over there. Go sit down with Uncle Pete.
Okay. Stick your head in the door.
We are trying, but.
Yeah, no, it's trying, and I understand. Okay, we're voting on the amendment to change the amount on Article 3 from the 906
It's a
to the
sham.
856 number. So all those in favor of amending Article 3 to the 856, 146 number, please raise your hand. Those opposed? Okay, what I'm gonna do.
Written ballot, we would have been out of here.
I'm-
This is why we need a written ballot.
This is a sensitive
What a
subject.
joke.
I think the
Written
the
ballot.
opposing vote probably won. This is a sensitive subject. I'm going to ask the clerks.
Oh my
front row here
God.
To give us two
Broken
counters.
record.
People on, one person is gonna count people on this side, one person is gonna count people on that side. And we're
Just like the town meeting.
That way, the exact number will be recorded in the minutes of this meeting, and there will be no doubt. Sir, what, oh, you're a counter, right? Okay, I didn't.
He was
see your
gonna
hand.
arrest him.
Okay. All those in favor of the amendment to change the number in Article 3 to $856,146, please raise your hands and hold them up there. Keep them up, keep them up.
Tyrannical tactic to do this without a secret ballot. And this moderator's in on it.
Keep them up on this side, the counter's still working over here. You got everybody on your side? Okay, rest your arms for a minute. Counters will report the numbers. Okay, all those opposed? And keep them right up there, please.
No wonder they don't want a secret ballot. They want people to do it right in the open. So they're under threat.
I'm glad we were not doing this last night.
Whatever.
I think this side is safe, the counter's still working on that
How
side.
many people have registered? They're not holding it up. Look at them all. They even registered?
Yeah, their votes count too.
That was a botched vote. Moderator botched the vote again.
I'll just borrow Elizabeth's paper. Those in favor, 59 voters. Those opposed, 94 voters. The amendment fails. We're back to Article 3 as presented.
Secret ballot would've been nice.
$906,465. Is
Go sit
there
down, bud.
further discussion, question? You had, and Brinkley, please.
I move that this vote be secret ballot.
Second.
Okay.
No one has called the question yet, have they? We're not voting on the,
Well, right now, I have a motion for a secret ballot. So I've got to, I want to deal with that. However, that's not going to rush us into a vote right off the bat.
so the vote for the secret ballot is for the actual,
Is for the The vote to the secret ballot is gonna be when we get to the 906 thing. Okay? You good? Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we deal with Article 3 at 906, 465 by secret ballot. We will do this by a show of hands, no less. All those in favor of a secret ballot on Article 3 at the 906 number?
Watch it, Pete. Watch it. Hold it up, hold it up.
The
need a secret
motion
ballot.
fails. Will, the article
They're
will
playing
be done
games because
by
nobody
a
knows
show of
how this
Now,
works.
we're back to
Nobody
Article
knows how
3
it works.
As it was presented, 906, 465, payroll and benefits, and we still have
They're
select
playing
board
games with the town.
proposes taking 32,000 from the health insurance reserve to offset the budget. Do we have any further comment? I saw your hand go up first, there's a gentleman way in the back, I'll get you in there, go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask, I did the math on on the high salaries from what I thought, from looking at it. And if I'm not mistaken, it averages for the higher salaries about $22 an hour. Is that about right? On the higher salaries on here.
Just,
If I did,
just a sec, look, we gotta get that info for you.
State the question again.
so I did doing the math on looking at the higher salaries, around 55,000. Dividing it by 52 weeks, 40 hours a week, that's about $22 an hour. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you know, Ocean State Job Lot just opened up in North Conway, just a 20-minute drive. They're starting their cashiers out at $22 an hour. So I don't think it's too much
Well said.
for
Well
our
said.
higher paid people to make that money. I mean, that's barely a livable wage.
The gentleman way in the back in the light blue shirt, yes, sir.
Possible to move the question?
You wanna move the question?
Move to a vote?
Okay. It's been moved and seconded.
Why didn't you
What?
say second?
So, if we,
I'll be right with you in a second, we may have a technical.
yeah, we voted not to do last year's budget, right? Not to
That's
do
right.
that. If we vote this down, the 90446, where are we again?
Okay. Vince asked a question. What happens if you vote this 906 thing down? What happens is, you're right back where we were 2 weeks ago. You don't have a budget, and right now, you do not have enough time before the end of the fiscal year, which is Monday night at midnight. You do not have enough time, let me explain this. You do not have enough time for the selectmen to be at their advertised meeting on Tuesday, and then perhaps decide to present something else, and then provide the, 7-day advertising notification time. I think that puts you to the 10th or 11th or 12th of July. Basically, you do not have a payroll budget. Last meeting, we were at that point. Those of you who were there will recall that I used a technique, move to reconsider. Now, I was stretching the parliamentary rules a little bit there. A move to reconsider is generally done when you get some new information that just pops in. Somebody found a package of ballots fell down behind the piano, or we didn't count the people in the balcony, or John D. Rockefeller just walked in with a shoebox full of $100 bills.
Or a bunch of people didn't even register and they don't have their cards in their hand.
Excusable to bend the rules and give the town another chance, i.e. a move to
It
reconsider.
means you broke the law.
My goal, it's your town, it's not my town. But my goal is to do a decent job and leave you with some kind of budget so you can
Not
keep
doing
your
a
town
good job at
operating.
all.
I need you to come up with some kind of budget that you can deal with. Now, I see a couple of hands, however,